Okay, we're rolling.
Okay, this is an interview at the Four Points Sheraton Hotel, Manhattan. It is the 11th of January 2005, approximately 4 p.m. Interviewers are Wayne Clark and Mike Russert. Could you give me your full name, your date of birth, and place of birth, please?
My full name is Sam Kamerman, Kamerman. Full name. What's the next question?
Date of birth and place of birth.
March 16th, I was born, 1923, Lower East Side, New York City.
Okay. What was your educational background prior to entering service?
I was 2 years of high school. That was it.
Okay. Do you remember where you were and what you remember about the hearing about Pearl Harbor?
Oh yes, I remember that. Quite amusing also. You want me to...
Sure, tell us.
I was at a park playing basketball with, I was 18 years old I guess, with a bunch of fellas. And this is a Sunday, around 1 o'clock or so. And in comes Harry into the park with all these young kids are playing basketball. And he hollers, "The Japanese just bombed Pearl Harbor." And you know what all of us did? We all asked each other, "Where is Pearl Harbor?"
Yeah, that's what most...
So you asked me, do you remember? Do I remember? Where is Pearl Harbor? Okay, that's it.
Okay. Did you enlist or were you drafted?
I enlisted because all the fellas around me my age was being drafted. So I wanted to, I didn't want to go into the army or, you know, be in the dirt air kind of thing. So I enlisted into the Army Air Corps.
Did you ever fly before?
Never. I was looking to stay away from the dirt. I wasn't concerned with flying. I'm a peace-loving guy. Okay.
All right. When did you enlist, and where did you go for your basic training?
I enlisted in New York City. I guess it was Washington Street or down. I forgot the name of it. But I went to Fort Dix for an indoctrination. And from there I went to basic training. You want me to continue on?
Yes, sir.
I went to Miami Beach for basic training. Great, huh? But two things I remember. I got KP twice down there, and I did pots and pans. These pots were like 3 feet high. And for 17 hours, I'm digging into the pots and pans, into the pots basically, and I caught this twice. Somebody didn't like me. I caught this twice in a month's time that I was there, and I said, if I ever get a chance to get away from KP, that's what I'm going to do. And the following story you'll find out where it came up. All right, so that's my basic training. You want to know about the schooling I went to?
Yes. How long how long did you stay in Florida?
I was there a month. From there, I went to Madison, Wisconsin, Truax Field Radio School for a couple of months. From there, I didn't graduate. I went to Sioux Falls, South Dakota Radio School for about 5 months. Upon graduation, an officer came into the class and said, "We need flying operators." I was not interested. And he said, "Well, you get an extra stripe." I still was not interested. He said, "Well, you get 50% flying pay." I still wasn't interested. He said, "Well, there's no KP," and don't laugh. This is the truth. You're laughing. I said, "KP, I got out of it. That was it." And all right, the rest of the story goes, I went down to Philadelphia, a special school, a radio school down there. came back to Madison, Wisconsin.
Now with radio school, were you learning Morse code or?
Oh, radio. Oh, all right. It's you learn a little of EIR, voltage and capacity and resistance kind of stuff, and we also learn Morse code.
Okay.
Flying radio operator, you had to know your Morse code, and from there went back to Madison, Wisconsin, and from there I was sent. Now this is the beginning of the meat of the whole story. I was sent to Salina, Kansas. This was the 20th Air Force, the 58th Bomb Wing. When I got there, I went on one or two practice flights in a B-17. The first time I was uncomfortable because I was looking out the window all the time and just enjoying the sights. The second time I was busy somewhat, and it was better. In Salina, Kansas, I got my flight gear. And the flight gear was very, very, very impressive stuff. You get the summer flying suit, you get a winter flying suit, you get a .45 caliber gun, you get a watch, you get goggles, you get, it just keeps coming and coming. Parachute. Okay, so now I'm part of the 58th Bomb Wing. I'm attached to them. They send me down to Great Bend, Kansas. I'm there for about 2 months. From there, they send me to a place called Marietta, Georgia. And I'm there for like another couple of months. And this is all part of the 58th Bomb Wing. From there, I went to Walker, Kansas. Walker Army Air Force Base in Kansas, and there I was sent into an office there after I was there about 6-8 weeks, and this officer says to me, "You don't have to volunteer, but we need flying radio operators to go overseas." And at this point, I've been in the service like 17 months or so, I don't know, something, a year and a half. And I said to the officers, "Let me go home, get a furlough, and I'll come back." He said, "We can't do that." I said, "Well, one of the best moves I ever made." I said, "No, I don't want to go." And a couple of weeks later, this 58th Bomb Wing, what is the first B-29 outfit, by the way, the very first combat outfit, they went to the China-Burma, India area. They flew out there without me, okay, without me. Now, 2 weeks later, after they leave approximately, I'm sent to Pratt, Kansas. This is a new bomb wing. This is the 73rd Bomb Wing, and I am now part of a combat crew in Pratt, Kansas. The B-29s at this point for testing, for flying, they were very, very unreliable. So most of our B-17 combat training had to do with B-17s. Now, and this was from April till around August. It's about a five-month thing, and I was in with a very nice crew. Oh, by the way, in this crew, we had, which is 11 crewmen, we had 4 New Yorkers, by the way, on this in my particular crew, which is interesting, in this particular case. And we went on, we flew in all kinds of weather. I can tell you it was, what is it, lightning and thunder, and I'm looking out this thing, and I'm looking at the ground. One of the few times I said, gee, I wish I was on the ground now. It was lightning, it was thunder. I said, what are you doing out in this weather? Okay, now some of the things that took place, and this is only combat training. This is not nothing to do with the. We flew one mission, one training mission. It was approximately 17 hours in the air. We left Kansas, we flew into the Caribbean, we flew, what is that, I guess that's south. Yeah, flew south, then flew east to Cuba, these are approximately over Cuba, and from there we flew north to over the Atlantic to Massachusetts, and from there we flew approximately to like Michigan, somewhere around, and then flew back to our base. And this was like a good 16, 17, I don't know the number, but a long time. And this is one of the few times I flew with an oxygen mask, because the B-29 was the first bomber in World War II that had pressurized cabin. This is the first one. And so this was quite an experience, being up at 25,000 feet with the oxygen and tapping away with the at a big speed of like 5-6 words per minute. You can't go fast in an airplane. Not that I was any good at special at it, but that shaking, you don't recognize it, but when you want to do something, it lets you know it's shaking. And I was communicating quite well. I was commended on this particular flight, being in contact with the Army Airways communication system. Okay, now another thing happened, and also our commanding general, by the way, he was a New Yorker, Rosie O'Donnell. You ever hear of him?
No.
He was he ended up a real big deal. Okay, so now we finish our training, and we're all going home on furloughs from Kansas to New York for me. What happens is there is a training mission. Somebody on the B-17 is on a training mission. They're going from Pratt, Kansas to Mitchell Field, New York City. Okay. There's about, I don't know, approximately 15 of us from the metropolitan area. We all get in a plane. We're all going we're all on a furlough at the same time. I told you the general was our general was from New York, so he did. My feelings are he set this thing up, and there we are. We flew into Mitchell Field. It took us about 5 hours, whatever, instead of the 48 hours. So it's an extra 2. Coming back, me being a kid and knowing I'm going overseas, I wanted to stay home a little longer. So what I did, and this is my radar man told me the story 8 years later, 10 years later. What I did was I took extra time, not being AWOL, not to be AWOL. On the last day, I went back to Mitchell Field, hoping to catch some kind of a ride. Sure enough, I got lucky. There was a B-17 I don't remember exactly where it went, going to Kansas. This plane has dropped me off in Kansas, but not my base. I got off in Kansas, and I'm always carrying a parachute. Very impressive. I got off in Kansas. I got up on a highway, and thank the Lord, the people there are wonderful. You get out there, they pick you right up. Where you going, soldier? You know, and I got back to my base about 11 o'clock at night, an hour before I'm AWOL. This to me is, I'm glad to tell it on film. Okay, now we finished. What happens now? Oh yeah. Can you cut it down? I want a little water or something. Goes to it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay. Now we're getting ready. We finished our combat training. Now, there's the 497th Bomb Group. In the 73rd Bomb Wing, there's the 497th, the 498th, the 499, and the 500 Bomb Group. There are 10 crews in each group. 10 crews in each squadron. There are 3 squadrons to a group. So this is 4. We've got 120 combat crewmen crews in a big hangar in a place called Harrington, Kansas. We go there, all these crews are going there to pick up a new B-29 Super Fortress. And I consider myself, for the Pacific, a pioneer crew. It's a word I made up, but we were the first ones on Saipan. All right, so now each crew will eventually get a new B-29 Super Fortress. We get ours. We get in. We take off in about an hour and a half. We blow an engine. I get in contact with the base, home base. I let them know that we're making an emergency landing in a place called Kingman, Arizona. And the funny part about this is that, and at this time, this plane is top secret. When I went home, I never mentioned, as a kid, I never mentioned that I'm flying in a B-29. They didn't know about a B-29 anyway, but I never mentioned I'm involved with that. And we make an emergency landing in Kingman, Arizona. When we get to the stand or wherever the plane ends up, we have about 30, 40 MPs around the plane. Nobody's allowed to get near the plane because it's top secret. And the term I use when I walked out, I felt like today, I learned from what happens today, I felt like I was somebody who came in from outer space. All right, this is the feeling, because they're all looking, and we had different type of jackets at the time. They made us look pretty exclusive, and they made you get the feeling. All right, so now we 2 days later we have a new engine. We go to California. From California we go to Hawaii. And in Hawaii, I did something that they all, my crew, they all looked at me like I was crazy. I figured I'd be there like 6 months, a year, I don't know exactly. I had my whole head cut. I had it. I was bald. And when I went into a briefing, I took the hat off. They all looked at me because no hair, you know. And so this is somewhat different. And from Hawaii, we went to a place called Kwajalein, which is a little atoll. All they got is an airfield. Anything else you can forget about. And from there, we went to Saipan. This is the beginning of where we're going to be involved. Mm-hmm. Now at Saipan.
Now, when did you arrive in Saipan?
On Saipan, I would say, I got it in the book here somewhere, late October 1944. Late October 1944. We started out early October. It took us about, I don't know, 15 days or so. I can give you the...
I just meant about
yeah.
What time.
Yeah, late October 44. And when we get there, we have a number of training missions.
Now, up to this point, most of your training had been on the B-17s, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Now, how can you compare the B-17 to the 29?
Yeah, night and day.
In what ways?
Well, the B-29 was much larger. It went further. In reference to bombs, we had 2 bomb bays that were tremendous. The B-17 is a small little bomb bay. It was a tremendous difference. Tremendous difference. It flew higher. It flew faster. It did everything. Everything more so. Well, let me see. See, I was a radio operator, so I don't know. I had to read up on a lot of this stuff, and I didn't know too much about what was happening. I had to read up to find out. They didn't give me enough medals. They didn't give me enough. I said, with all I went through, and this is all they gave me, I said, all right, that's their game. And let me see, where was I? We got some training missions. We bombed Truck Island, which it was Japanese held at the time. Mm-hmm. Now November comes. Approximately November 23rd, 24th, 1944. We go on the first ground-based bombing mission of Tokyo. 2.5 years before, Doolittle bombed Japan. 2.5 years before. Now we're going on the first one. We didn't do as they will tell you, we didn't do a good job at the beginning. At the beginning, we didn't do it, but we did. We let them know they were in a war, and we went over. There was flak. There's always flak. There's always, as a rule, there's always fighters. We were the first ones. Not only were we the first ones, our particular group was A group. We were like the first ones to go over targets. They went over in different groups. So we got clobbered. And this was the first, as I say, the first one. And this, the next day, a day after, in this country, it was plastered all over the papers. I have it here. B-29 Super Fortress bombed Tokyo. You know, and this was. And this was great for the public, they read this, they say, hey, we're going after them, that kind of stuff.
Now, did you always fly in the same plane?
Yes.
Go
ahead.
Did you get to name your plane?
Our plane never got a noted plane. We had 11 in our crew, and what is it? A democratic thing. We took a vote. All of us were from all up north. My pilot was from North Carolina. He named the plane a sudden something kind of thing. I can't think of the name offhand, but it never got a splash like you read you see these books and they have beautiful paintings and all. And loads of different good names. Okay, where am I now? Oh yeah, the first mission. I'm going to give you some outstanding, what I consider outstanding. I'll jump ahead. Remind me to come back to January 27th. I'm going to jump to March. The middle of March, we was what they call in that area the incendiary blitz. We had an March 9th, 11th, 13th, 16th, 19th. We hit Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, Kobe, and back to Nagoya. This first one over Tokyo, March 9th, is considered one of the worst, horrific bombing missions of any war. We burnt out like 16 square miles. That was 16 square miles on that one. This is all in a book. 15.8, 16. What's the difference? 0.2 of a square mile. But this 80,000 plus died, 100,000 injured, a million homeless. Ridiculous kind of numbers. But this is what actually took place. Now, as I said, we were in A, and many times we were the first or the early ones to go over. Now, when you go over Tokyo early, you drop your bomb, your incendiaries, and you leave, and you may not even see anything burning because you're the early ones. So we did this with Tokyo, Nagoya, and Osaka. Now, going to Kobe, we were one of the latter planes, one of the later planes. Now about 150 miles from Kobe, approximately 100, anywhere between 150 and 200 miles. One of the crewmen in the nose over the intercom says, "What's that spot out there?" And where I have to manipulate to get up front. But I got up front, and there is, at approximately 12:30, 1 o'clock, this little orange dot. Where you can't tell distance at night. Yeah? There's this little orange dot. Nobody knew. Nobody had any dot. What the heck is that? No, it's all black, and then there's this little orange dot. It could be a plane. It could be a light. It could be anything. And as we keep going towards our target, this little orange dot starts getting larger, and I'm back in my seat, and somebody hollers out, "Kobe is burning." This is up, and just 150 miles. You can't believe it. Approximately 150 miles away, you can see a fire. You can't believe it. And now we're the latter part. There's been 300 planes that have dropped their fire bombs on this area. Everything's burning. Now when we get to the target. And I'm not specific. The bomb bay doors open. because we're over the target. At this point, there comes up a smell that was awful. It was debris and also bodies. This is it comes up. We're at 6,000 feet approximately. We're very low. Now, at just about the same, and this is all in books. You see, I'm not quoting books. This is what happened with me, and they wrote something similar. And now, at the same, just about the same time, we get the turbulence from this fire, this big fire. It comes up into the plane, and this plane gets shook up. This is a big plane, and it's my top gunner. He hurt his head because it shook where he was sitting. It shook so much, but it was very. My question is, when it shook like that, my question is, where did we get hit? I don't know where we got. Like we were supposed to get hit because of this kind of a shake-up. But we didn't get hit. We didn't get hit. It was just turbulence coming up. You've flown, you've run it, you've heard about turbulence. Mm-hmm. So everybody, I'm sure, you don't know what turbulence is. This thing is out of the. And they give cockamamie stories about the one of the planes was turned over, and that I don't believe that. You see, one of the things in reference to telling stories, there's a tendency to fabricate. Okay? There's a tendency, and I don't fabricate. I know what I've been through, what I saw, I should say, and this is one of the stories. We were one of the small, and these missions, one after another. You're not sleeping. You get they give you an upper, so you take before you get to the target, somewhat to the target. So and I remember one time my eyes were Benzodrex, I think it was. My eyes were like that. Whoa, look at this. Everything looks so beautiful, and we're right near the target. And when you come back, they're giving you a shot of whiskey so you can relax. So for 5 missions, my tail gunner was a drinker, so he drank most of that. And you got coming up and you're coming down, and we're not getting the proper sleep, whatever it took. And Curtis E. LeMay, who was our boss then, he said, he's at the end of the 5 missions, he said, my boys were a little tired. What an understatement! For a young guy, I said, why am I feeling like this? Why am I'm so lousy? And this was, who knows that this kind of thing can take its toll.
How many hours were you in the air from Saipan to the target and back?
It was with our crew, I say it was an average of 13 hours. Sometimes.
So a round trip was
around
13.
13 hours.
That was Japan, not Saipan.
From Saipan to Japan and back.
Yeah. Tell them I'm not here.
Can you come back later?
No, it doesn't need to be done.
Oh,
It doesn't need to be done.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're rolling.
I was just asking about how long it took on a round trip.
Oh,
and you told me.
About 13 hours.
Okay, I don't know if you're finished with that, but you want me to remind you about January 27th.
Oh yeah, January 27th, we had a mission. Each group went over. We were the first group, 497, to go over. In this mission, we had 17 planes, and most of our missions was at the beginning to try to knock out the airplane plant in Tokyo. Mm-hmm. Most of them. Now on this particular mission, January 27th. And this is a week after Curtis E. LeMay took over our outfit. You've heard about Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not dropping names. I can drop names. Now, we're the first ones to go over. In our group, there are 17 planes in our group to go over to the target. Well, I'm not going to get too involved. Over the target, the Japanese fighters shot down 2 planes. That's an average of 11 men per plane. A third one sort of lingered on the side somewhere, and they never saw this one again. That was the third plane. Fourth plane ditched a couple of hundred miles off of Japan. They never saw them again. That was 4 planes. The fifth plane made an emergency landing on Saipan. The crew was all shot up. So out of 17 planes, this is a mission that my crew was on. We lost like 30% of. I figured it out. 2 more missions like that, and we're not around. That's all it took. That was the fiercest. One of the wording was fiercest fighter opposition. We have it in a book. 555 fighter attacks on just us 17 planes. Okay, so this was I got away with that. I didn't know it at the time, but got away with that. Okay, where am I now?
Well, you were talking. You finished with all your missions against Japan or Tokyo in March.
It didn't finish.
Well, you talked about March being the 1 month.
These are big ones. These are big.
Yeah.
The first one made headlines.
Mm-hmm.
That March 9th, you can get in my opinion, there's over 1,000 books that have written one thing or another on March 9th, 1945. The incendiary over Tokyo. Okay, and we were the early ones. So my crew was involved in what's the word, history, or did a lot of that, enough of that stuff.
Now, did your airplane suffer any
Always.
damage?
Oh.
A lot of flak damage?
We got flak. We got fighters. It was there. It was. I can tell you one time we're over the target, and I hear a ping, and my navigator is right next, pretty close. I look at him. I say, "What happened?" You see, you can't talk when you're in. The noise is tremendous. You can't communicate. So I said, "What happened?" He said, "I don't know." When we got back to the base, I immediately jumped out, and there was by the bomb bay, right, very close to us. There was a nice big hole there. And the holes were there in many planes, many planes. The flak was up there, like they say in a movie. You look out the window, you can walk on the stuff. As long as you can see it, you're all right. As long as once you see that, the what's the stuff that leaves when it leaves, it's all over. Once you see it, it's when you don't see it, it comes up, bam. This is where it could hit you. It could hurt you. But the flak wasn't so good. It wasn't like in Germany. In Germany, it was. The 8th Air Force. I'm glad I never was involved with that. They got.
Did you wear a flak vest?
At the beginning, yes, but it's so cumbersome. It's so all right. If they're going to kill me, let them kill me. Yes, I could. You throw it right down there where you're at, and you leave it there. The first time or the second time, you wear it. All right. Now another thing is we got bombed on Saipan at the beginning. We were getting bombed, and where they were coming from, they were hard to figure it out. Iwo Jima was close enough. I don't know how a fighter or the plane can go to Iwo Jima and Saipan and get back. That I didn't know. It seemed like it was too much distance. And we flew for 5 months without fighter protection because the fighters couldn't go from Saipan to Japan and back. We had to wait till they captured Iwo Jima. Once they captured Iwo Jima, there were many B-29s that made emergency landings. So these people who are Marines in the Army who sacrificed their lives on Iwo Jima, it was for a good B-29 cause. The B-29 people, it saved a lot. Well, I was on a crew that very little happened. I didn't even catch a cold. I was sitting at a desk. I could have sat at a desk with the whole war, with all that going on, and not looking out, and nothing. It wouldn't have been anything. I remember looking out at somebody said, "Oh, there's a plane way out there at 2 o'clock." I got up into a little a plexiglass thing where the navigator shoots the stars, and I looked at about 2 o'clock, and there's this plane just going along, just staying ahead of us. And somebody I heard somebody holler, "He's turning." And and that's when I took a look, and there's this plane coming. We're going, and there's this plane coming right at us, and I'm watching, and again, you don't hear anything, and I see in the wings there's this orange stuff coming out, and it's a matter of split seconds. It's all over. I realized this orange stuff, he was shooting at us, but I didn't realize at that particular moment that we're at war. So this is one of the little things. There was another incident that it's very hard for somebody to believe, and I had to read about this same incident to know that's the reason. Well, whatever it is, it's a nighttime mission, and we're over Japan, and we're heading towards a target, about 6,000 feet, and I'm up in this plexiglass thing, and I'm looking around. It's all dark out there, and now I notice at about 10:30. A plane and this is dark, so it had to be fairly close to us. And I said, first thing you say, well, and going in the same direction, first thing you say to yourself, B-29. But I took a better look. This was a 2-engine plane. And I said, well, we don't have any, so what is this all about? Now, this plane was staying ahead of us for about 5 minutes that I observed, and then I went back to my desk, and then I read about what that was all about. I didn't know at the time. This plane was sending back to the base on Japan our altitude, our speed, all the information, but I had to read about it. I didn't understand this particular thing. Like if I would say, well, we had a plane there, somebody would say, well, come on, it's your imagination. No, I know I saw this thing for about 5 minutes, and when I read up that there were planes that just gave the information of this plane. To me, it looked like he could have done this. Okay, his job was not to do that. Well, we dealt with since I give with this kind of thing, we dealt with kamikazes, as they say. The Japanese had a squadron of what they call rammers, who were not kamikaze people. They came in and hit the tail, or try to hit the tail a certain way to hurt the plane, and they in turn get parachute out. And I read a book on them, and this was what they did. They rammed the plane, whereas where the kamikaze went in and just to blow up. Now, another thing. I think when was it? In April. This is April '45. The kamikazes were clobbering the Navy. They were clobbering the Navy in the area there, and they only flew. They were in the southern tip island, the southernmost island, Kyushu. They flew out. The kamikaze flew out from Kyushu, and they hit the Navy, and they hurt the Navy a lot at this time. We went in, we bombed their air bases in Kyushu, and 3 days later they'd fill up the holes, and you couldn't do too much about it. But one of the funny stories I tell is that my crew bombed USA. Somebody would say to me, "USA? How could you? What are you talking about?" Yeah. Well, one of our missions over in Kyushu, one of the air bases. The name of the air base was USA. Okay, we bombed the USA. I consider it amusing. Some people, so what? Okay, that's one of the stories. You want to turn that off, please? Now, I want to take Kingman, Arizona, Saipan. All right, first, I completed friend. Oh yeah, I can tell you. Right. I can tell you about a friend ditching, if you want, ground-based combat. First, friend ditched, 111, Curtis LeMay.
What were your feelings about LeMay as a general?
Wonderful. Oh yeah, I'm still on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. When LeMay came into our outfit, he made changes, and all of us cursed this guy all to hell. We cursed him all to hell, and we were bombing at 25,000, I remember, approximately. He brought us down to 16,000. These are daylight raids. And then he brought us down at night raids, approximately 6,000 feet. And everybody was cursing this guy. They cursed him. I even said, what's this guy up to? You know, P.S. This is the best thing that ever happened to us. He had the answers for us, and he came up with the incendiary things, and this was a big thing. We were one of the small percent. My crew was one of the small percent, approximately 10% of the crews that flew these 5 missions, because they were tough missions on the plane. The plane. It was tough for them to handle the engines. They needed engine changes or whatever it whatever it entailed. But just 10% of us. I was on a crew. Our how shall I say, our the number for our outfit when you go home was 35 missions. We were one of the small percent that flew only 30 missions, and I never when they told me this is your last mission. I know I hadn't flown 35, and as a kid, I'm not opening my mouth. If they're telling me I'm going home, I'm going. I'm not going to question them. And well, these are the funny things about that kind of thing. We flew 30 missions. There was about, I don't know, 5% of the crews that the original crews that flew 30 missions and were sent back. We after looking at it, we were involved with rough stuff. We were involved. I can tell you, I met my radar man about 10, 15 years later. He was in some Army air base. And I was talking to him. I sit here, he sits there, and we were talking about the good old days. And after we finished, I left him. I said to myself, was he in the same war I was in? He had a different story altogether. So this is what you have to deal with. Maybe he was right, maybe you were right, that kind of stuff.
Everybody saw things differently, too.
Well, yeah, that's right. You know where I learned that? I learned that from somebody who said to me, well, the dog can see only sees from this angle, and we see from this angle. So this is how that works. From where your perspective is, and this is what happened. One time, this is what I call a. This is like January 3rd, 1945. My pilot's friend, he ditched between Iwo Jima and Saipan. He ditched the plane, went on a mission, came back, couldn't make it, into the drink he went, and they had an idea, radio man, or whatever, the position. The next morning, my pilot comes in, he says, Sam, get your chute. The chute means you're going on a flight or something. He says to me, get the chute and get in the plane. This is a plane that had just been two new engines have just been put in. He's going to check out the engines. That's his job with this particular plane, to check out the engines. And there's about 6 or 7 of us in the plane. But he needed a plane to try to find his friend. But he did something that if the people upstairs knew about it, they'd hang him for that. Because these things aren't, I forget what Dumbo kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So we got in the plane. I'm always in the front. This particular time, I had to go through. We have a tunnel in the B-29 Superford. It's a crawl-through tunnel. And when you crawl through, it's just about like this. You can't see anything on your right. You can't go back. And if you have a case of claustrophobia, it'll kill you. I'm halfway through, and I'm moving. Very funny, right? But I know I went through this thing twice. I said, okay. I went into the side gunner's spot. There was another side gunner there, and all the officers were up front. And what my pilot was doing, he was up hundreds of square miles, and he's just circling, smaller circle, for an hour and a half. I'm in there, I'm looking. I can only tell you, don't be in a life raft in the middle of the ocean. It's worse than a needle in a haystack. And P.S. with an airplane, you're moving quick, 200 miles an hour. At a low, you have trouble. You just don't see. But very luckily, somebody said down below, and where I looked down, and in a split second, I saw a life raft. I thought there were 4 or 5 people in it, and crewmen, and that was it. He circled around, never saw them again. He called a destroyer or a sub in the area, and because of my pilot, they saved about 6, 7 crewmen. There's more of a story to it, but they were saved, and I was very proud of my pilot. This is terrific, you know. Okay, I'm trying to think of come up with something else for you people. One mission, I was out there. We went out very close to Japan. We flew about 9 hours approximately, and we aborted a mission. Which means that we flew, and when we got close to the island, we had a malfunction of the engine. If you're having trouble with an engine, you don't want to go over the target in a bombing formation, because when you fall back, they're going at you. You can forget about it. They just look for somebody to have a little problem, and they leave everything else and they go for this one. So we aborted. He dropped his bombs. We dropped the only one mission. We dropped our bombs in the ocean there, and we came back. That was an aborted mission. All right, let me see. Ditching, oh yeah, there was another one. Oh yeah. My bombardier got big things. I'm glad I got notes on this. One mission, we're coming back from a target. Now we have some bombs hung up. Bombardier couldn't release them. And this is, it's a bomb. These are big bomb bays, and it's, I don't know, 12 feet from here to the end of the 12, 15 feet from the front of the bomb bay to the rear of the bomb bay. These bombs happen to be stuck way in the rear, in an awkward spot. My bombardier, he comes, he opens the bomb bay door. It's also a crawl through kind of thing. Now, it's tough to picture. This is, the bomb bay door is opened. We're flying over the ocean. All you got down there is water, water, and more water. He's climbing out. Like if he slips, he's gone. Okay? However, if any kind of fall, that's the end of him. He's going along the side of the fuselage. He's squirming. He knew something I didn't know, but he's manipulating. He's walking on thin air, you might say. There's a little ledge of about 9 inches, and he's moving along this little ledge, and now he gets to the side of the fuselage, and now he has to go back to the back of the bomb bay. And all the time he's slowly, just moving along, because he's only standing on a small little ledge, and he's moving towards the back of the bomb bay to get to the bombs. It's hard to believe. And at this point, my stomach couldn't take it. I had to stop looking at this kind of thing. But he released the bombs, came back, I guess he got a DFC for this. This is something. I can't believe that my stomach said, you can't take it. I couldn't watch this thing. So this was he released the bombs, which was because if you're going to land with these things, subject to going off. So this was like they're still armed. They have to be released. I don't know too much about armament, but he did a great thing there.
Okay, we're going to stop and go to another.
We're rolling again.
All right. So where am I now? Anything special? Oh, I'm supposed to take...
Well, why you just were mentioning Robert Morgan from the Memphis Belle.
You want to get him into
Sure,
this?
you...
No, I don't want to get him.
Okay.
This is me. He's got enough publicity.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, were you aware of the Enola Gay and the atomic bomb?
No, nobody was. Nobody was. Oh, P.S. I was back in the States by that time.
Yeah.
I finished the end of May. I finished my last mission. Nobody knew about it. They did a good job of keeping it top secret.
Did you know any of those guys that were the crew members? Or
Of the Enola Gay? Of what?
Or the other one, Boxcar?
No. They were on Tinian.
Okay.
We were on Saipan. My outfit made it easy for these guys. We took all the clobbering. I'm not putting them down, but we took all the clobbering, and they came along. Well, by the time they got there, who's attacking them? They're not being attacked. You know, the Enola Gay and the Boxcar. No, they were from Tinian. We were from Saipan. It's two different. And P.S. You may not know, but how far is Tinian from Saipan? Okay, there's a little inlet. It's like 3-5 miles. I saw Tinian when I went down to the beach there, the so-called beach. I was able to see Tinian. But that's the Enola Gay. I'm talking about the 73rd Bomb Wing. This is the baby.
Yeah.
This is the pioneer crews, I should say. The sacrificial lambs. Okay, because we lost percentage-wise, we didn't lose a lot. Oh yeah, okay. I got a note. We didn't live in barracks. We lived in Quonset huts on Saipan. In my Quonset hut, we lost, and this was non-commissioned people. We lost one crew that went on a mission, never came back, and then we lost a second crew in my Quonset hut. In the Quonset hut, we lost 2 crews from my Quonset hut, and they come and they go. Lost B-29 barracks. A lost B-29 barracks. Okay, I got another one, Pete. I'm the radio man. My ship. Now we're getting close, about 150 miles from Tokyo, and at this time. I'm not doing my job properly. I'm listening to Tokyo music. Wow, you know that music? I'm listening to that music, and I'm the only one who's listening because I'm the radio man. I have the radio frequency. I'm listening to it, and all of a sudden, it cuts out. I look at my equipment. Try to figure out what the heck what happened. P.S. There's nothing wrong with my equipment, and I figured it out. I got on the intercom and I said, "Radio to crew. Tokyo radio just went off the air." They knew They knew we were coming. We were a plane by itself at this time. They knew it. I think we were going to take photos of it. They just finished a mission there. They left, and now we're coming over to take photos. That was one of the missions, photo mission, and they went off the air. That's all. This is a procedure. Plane comes close, or they go off the air. All right. We flew a weather mission where you end up in practically the Japan Sea, which is the other side of Japan, and just getting there's a weatherman in a plane. He's giving me the information, and I'm decoding it. Am I encoding it? I'm encoding it, I guess, and sending it back. No, I'm decoding it and sending it back to the base, and they're encoding the information of the weather that this weatherman has given me. All right? Okay, now I'm trying to come across the Tinian swimming. I was on a beach on Saipan. Where I was a little beach, and there's Tinian. And I was sitting there just enjoying the area, and I looked at Tinian, and I see a plane taking off. And I started to watch. I see another, and this is like 3 miles away, and it's only water there. And I see another plane taking off, and I said, "Oh, they're going on a mission. There's one, another plane." And I'm watching for a while. And now this one plane takes off, and instead of going up, goes down. There's a big splash. I don't hear it. I'm too far away. That's all there is to it. That was all there is to it. Loaded with bombs. I don't know what happened, but hit some of them. When the engines don't give you enough power, you're not going up, so you're going to be going down, and this is one of the things that happened. Okay, there's another one. I love when I got good listeners. Oh yeah, we're coming back. We're coming back from a mission, and we're losing altitude. And my pilot says, "Okay, over the intercom, there's too much weight on a plane. Throw out anything that isn't tied down. Parachutes, flak suits." I'm right. I'm right near the Bombay. I'm right near, and my navigator is close to me. They're handing him all kinds of stuff, the navigator. He's giving it to me, and I'm just throwing it into the ocean, out to Bombay. That's all, the flak, the helmets, anything that isn't tied down. And after about 10-15 minutes, my pilot said, "Okay, it's we've leveled off. We're okay now." But the thing is, if the engine was weak enough, we would have ended up in a drink. But I can remember he's giving me, and I'm throwing it out, and I'm throwing it out. I was having a ball, I guess. Okay, yeah. One time, here's something that people don't even. People are surprised. Flyers are surprised when I tell this story. We were heading towards Kobe, a daylight raid, about 25,000 feet. There's this water that we're flying over towards Kobe. This water we're flying over. We have to pass Nagoya, which is in the same area, or off this water thing. Now, in the process of passing Nagoya, which is a seaport. Nagoya is a seaport in Kobe. Now, in the process of passing Nagoya, I look out, and here is this flak. They're shooting up flak. Red, green, yellow, blue, flak of different colors. I had no idea what that was about. I found out later what this was. It's a seaport. There are ships down below, and they're shooting up their color flak. And I tell this to airmen who are 80 years old. They never heard this kind of stuff. All they know is black smoke, flak. That's all they know. I saw, everything I'm throwing. My feelings is it's firsthand. It's not from somebody told a story to somebody else. This is something that I was at. Most of it was to me it wasn't much, but I was a radio man. I don't know any better. All right, let me see if there's anything. Colored flag, kamikaze, 30. Barracks to 10. When we finished our combat missions from our Quonset hut, we were put into, and I'm ready to go home. We were put into tents. We're putting into tents. So they're keeping us away from the combat flyers. We had finished our mission. Now, at this point, I'm figuring we go back a couple of days. They kept us there for like a month. And I myself, I said, I don't understand why they kept us there. We're finished. Put us somewhere where we can start heading back. They didn't do anything about it. Later on, I read a story of a crew that finished just about the same time, or maybe a little ahead of us. They got into a B-29, and they were flying back to the States. They flew from Saipan to Kwajalein, and from Kwajalein, they were supposed to go to Hawaii. This crew that just finished missions over Tokyo, over Japan, going back, this crew crashed in the ocean. They lost, they lost 90% of the people, or maybe 100%. So from this, I deduced that, hey, the wing don't want to lose any more men there like this. So this is one of the reasons I feel that they kept us there. And now, when finally they make a move, and I don't know the other side stories going on. I'm the first one they pick in the crew. They put me in a B-29 to go back to the States. Oh, the officers and all the enlisted men, they all stayed. I don't know how long they stayed, but after reading about this story, I said, those no good nicks. I was a guinea pig. I was the only one who went to this day, I said, I don't know why I was the only one going back, but that was a good enough reason. And I got back. I hit California the 5th of July, 1945. I got off this plane, and P.S., like they do in the movies, I kissed the ground. I kissed the ground, and after that, never flew in the service again. Never flew in the service again. Is there anything else there, barracks at the crew that finished? Yeah, I guess I covered an awful lot.
When were you discharged?
Immediately after that, September 13, 1945, I would say. Yeah, September 13, 1945.
Did you, after you left the service, did you ever use the GI Bill?
No. I was one of those. I went into the telephone line at the time.
Did you ever use the 5220 Club at all?
I used that. Good questions. Where'd you get those questions from? I got out. I went on a 5220, and I was out so early. Nobody was out. I was so bored. I went to work in November of 45, and I didn't use the GI Bill. And let me say to all you people, use the GI Bill. I can only tell you what, that's one of one of my negative moves.
You didn't buy a house or anything?
One of my nothing. My thing is, I was a good athlete, and the schoolwork, I never was able to get to it. And by the time I got to it, I was bored with it. Before I went into the service, I was a straight 65 student, if I was lucky. But when I came, it took me many years to understand why. Being with people, meeting people, I said, I'm not a 65 student. I put all my time to sports. When I got out of the service, I did a little night school work. I was getting 90s, and I said, oh my goodness gracious, did I screw up there? Did I make a bad move? But that was it. And I love my sports. I was out there, sports, after the war. The big weekend coming up, I didn't look for socializing. I was out in the ballpark playing ball, football, basketball, softball. I loved it. And this is one of the things where people who expected more from me, they didn't get. Because I didn't apply myself to the schoolwork.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
Well, not then, but now I never was a joiner in that case. I joined. What did I join? The ones that are injured.
Disabled American veterans.
DAV. Yeah, because one of my friends. Belongs to that. Oh, by the way, can I? I've got a couple of fellas who are so-called heroes. Should I give them your number?
We'll send you some forms.
For them?
Yes.
For others?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Did you ever stand? You said I don't think you. I think you did answer this. You never stayed in contact with anyone from the service?
When I got out, no. No. When I got out, no. No. Somebody on Saipan came into New York and called me, and I said, no, I can't do anything for you. Came from some other part of the country. No, I didn't get the crew. In fact, I would say the whole crew lost contact with each other until they started with the reunions. The first reunion was like 10 years ago that I went to. My bombardier was there, one of the gunners, and radar man and myself. And those are the only ones at that time, 10 years ago, that was around that we knew about. But since then, my radar man passed away. My bombardier, who became a I think a lieutenant colonel. Eventually, when he goes out of the house, he gets into the car. He doesn't walk much. And the other one seems to be in a senior type of home, and something like that. Mm-hmm. And he says he's happy there. I spoke to them, both of them, around holiday time, and I'm the only one who, as I say, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I move around, but it's not easy. I'm hoping to go on Florida maybe, and maybe one of these ships.
Cruise?
Yeah. But I'm a single, so they don't want singles. It's a negative thing for to be single, and to go with another fellow. That, oh my goodness, that's so tough, so tough. They've got their own way of doing things. They're self-centered. Oh my goodness! I went away a couple of months ago. I went away with another fellow my age, who I got along with quite well. By the time we got back, I don't want to speak to him at all. Okay, this is, and I'm saying to myself, I know it's not me. I know it's not me. I'm only too glad to bend with somebody. It's not me.
How do you think your time in the service changed or had an effect on your life?
Well, it got me away from my environment, and but when I came back, I was playing ball again. So it didn't have that. No, with me it didn't have that big a change. I guess I'm. What's the word? Selfish. You know, like like they say to me, get married. You don't want to get married. You're selfish. You know, that kind of stuff. Okay. So I guess that's about. Is there anything else I can come up with?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. You want to go to the Memphis Belle, maybe?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Another thing is, my pilot, who was very, how should you say? Oh yeah, remind me. I could come up with some cute stories. He was a nice person, but he didn't communicate. And I understand when you're the top brass of a little organization, you deal with somebody just below you. You don't deal with the others. Mm-hmm. Okay, somebody else. Yeah. So he never sort of socialized. He never spoke much to me, and I'm sure including the officers. Okay, now my pilot, I'll give you the name. His name is. Do any of you know anything about the fight game? Game, sports at all? You listen to sports?
Well, I do somewhat.
Yeah. Do you know the name? He does fights mostly. Jim Lampley. No. Well, Jim Lampley today is from the media. He announces fights. Well, his father was Jim Lampley, who was my pilot. So this is what is known as dropping a name. No, but there are a lot of people in this country that know Jim Lampley. You guys are not in. What can I say? What can I say to you? And one time we're on a training mission, and all of a sudden, Kansas City. My pilot then was a single fellow. All of a sudden, Kansas City blows an engine or blows a carburetor. I don't know what those things are. And we land in Kansas City. The first thing, my pilot, he gets a Jeep and he leaves us, the whole crew. And I guess he tells the co-pilot something. We have to get an engine in, and we have to put it in there. So for 24 hours, we're hanging around, and for the engine to be put in to get set. He comes back my pilot comes back about 24 hours, and everything's fine, and we take off. The point is that you had to, if you were there, if you were sharp enough, you would figure out. He had a girlfriend in Kansas City. He had a girlfriend. He left us for 24 hours. I mentioned this to my bombardier. You know, I said, Ray, do you remember that incident? He said, sure. He said, I surmised he had a girlfriend. He said, yeah, he had a girlfriend. Okay?
Okay, well, last thing before we
Yeah.
do this, if you would
okay.
hold that and tell us about that.
Oh, I'll tell you about it? Or
Yeah, what?
Can you? Okay.
Yeah, we can focus in on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
This is the Distinguished Flying Cross. I got this one, earned this one, because of that mission where we lost like 5 planes. We were one of the planes. This is an air medal with 4 oak leaf clusters. In the good old days, I used to say, why are they giving me all this stuff? I don't know. I don't understand it. This is the Asiatic Pacific Medal with 4 battle stars. This is the American something or other campaign. This is World War II Victory Medal. And this happens to be a New York State compulsion.
Conspicuous service.
Conspicuous service.
Yeah, okay, you know that, okay. Now, this here, oh, this is my name in case anybody's interested. This here is a presidential unit citation with a cluster, okay? This is, we got 2, my Alpha got 2 of these. This is the wings, this is crewman wings that we wore, again. And most of this is the 20th Air Force patch, and this is the 73rd Bomb Wing patch, okay? And most of this other stuff is repetitious, and just other little stuff.
Okay.
And that's about it. Maybe I should throw this in. This is at the World War II memorial thing. All right.
Okay.
Okay. You got that?
Yeah.
All right. I have photos.
Here, I can take this here. So
Yeah.
this
Oh
is-
yeah. Right. That makes it easy. How come I don't think of those things? I have photos here that I don't know which ones that I want to share. Mostly of me. Let's see if I can find Fifi here. Oh yeah, here's the only B-29 super bomber that's flying today. It's called Fifi. Okay.
Okay.
I guess that's about it. Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much for your